Hey guys, Sam here from Technologetic, and today I thought I'd take a look at the DJI Phantom 3 Standard against the DJI Mavic Pro. The Mavic Pro retails for about $1,200 Australian, whereas the Phantom 3 Standard can be found on eBay for about $500 to $600. So the Mavic Pro is double the price. I thought this video comparison would be good for two reasons. Firstly, you might already own a Phantom drone and you thought you might want to upgrade to the Mavic Pro, and so you're wondering if it's really worth it. The second idea is if you're buying a drone for the first time, whether you'd like to spend about $500 to $600 on a drone, or it's worth it to spend over $1,000 on something that has a lot more features. So we'll take a look at those features and whether which one's right for you. So which DJI product behind me is right for you? Well, that depends on your budget, what you're going to use it for, and how experienced you are with flying quadcopters and particularly DJI products. The Phantom 3 Standard can be found for about $500 to $600 depending on where you look and when you buy it, and it's great for getting into the quadcopter DJI flying quadcopter market. It isn't inexpensive by any means, obviously $600 is a lot of money, but it's a really good place to start. It offers you much of the functionality that the more expensive drones provide you for a lot less of the price. So in terms of video quality, the Phantom 3 Standard maxes out a 1440p sensor. Comparing that to the Mavic Pro, which has a full 4K sensor, you can definitely tell the difference in terms of video quality. Even straight out of the box with no color grading applied. There's a high detail, high sharpness, and really great dynamic range. And as soon as you take it off and you're looking at the footage on your phone, you're just like, wow, this looks incredible. The word I'd probably use to describe it is cinematic, like it's straight out of the start of a Hollywood movie, with its sequence of landscapes or a town or a city. It literally looks like that. It looks so amazing. It would definitely fit into any professional workflow where you've got to mix cameras that are, drones with DSLRs with video cameras. On the other hand, you've got the Phantom 3 Standard, which still has a great camera. It's got a 1440p sensor, which is higher than 1080p, higher than the DSLR I'm actually filming this on, and it means you can crop in and crop little bits of your footage out, which is definitely a nice feature to have, especially when you've got that situation where the propellers are in the side of the shots. It's definitely workable footage, especially if you grade it to match with the other cameras in your shoot, and can definitely seamlessly integrate into a product that you're having or into a film that you're creating as well. So both really good cameras, although straight out of the box, the Mavic Pro definitely has my tick for approval there, and it's really great not to be able to have to mess with settings in that limited flight time that you've got in the air. With that said, if you're just doing family or YouTube videos, or you're not even interested in photography or video at all, the Phantom 3 Standard camera will definitely suffice, and it's and really good for the live view that you get on the screen to be able to see exactly what your quadcopter is doing at the time. The next main difference, and basically why I got the Mavic Pro, was how far it travels from where you are. I often found with the Phantom 3 that if I was flying in an urban environment where there's a lot of Wi-Fi signals, or I wanted to push it just a little bit further than that 500 meters, it would start dropping out, the screen would go black, I'd lose control, and it would just kick back into that return to home mode, and I really wouldn't be able to get as far away as I would have liked or as high up as I would have liked. The Mavic Pro uses a different light bridge technology which can go up to 7 kilometers away from where you're standing as long as you've got a line of sight. There's definitely much more versatility with the Mavic Pro in terms of where you can go without actually having to be physically with the drone or close to the drone. The biggest limiting factor is actually the battery life in terms of being able to fly far away and still have enough battery to get back within that 7 kilometers. So it's just huge. It is quite annoying to have that 500 meter limit with the Phantom 3 Standard, and if you're looking to do anything kind of really serious or flying in lots of urban environments where there's a lot of Wi-Fi signals and interference, definitely look at the Mavic Pro in terms of dealing with this issue, because I found my biggest kind of reason for not using the Phantom 3 Standard was how often the signal dropped out when I was flying around in the urban environment that I live in. So that's a big point of difference, and definitely something to consider spending that extra $600, $700 with. The Phantom 3 Standard lasts for about 25 minutes in the air, which is 2 minutes less than the Mavic Pro, which lasts 27 minutes in the air due to its smaller size. Also due to its smaller size is a quicker battery time, with the Mavic Pro taking 1 hour and 10 minutes, whereas the Phantom 3 Standard takes about 1 hour and a half. The Mavic Pro also has a bit of autonomy to it. So if you're about to crash into a tree or something's underneath it and you're moving down to it, it'll actually stop and avoid that collision for you. Whereas the Phantom 3 doesn't have any of these sensors. These are nice features to have, although I've had the Phantom 3 Standard for a couple of years now, and I haven't really found myself thinking, oh, I really wish I had those sensors. I haven't crashed into anything at all, and if you just watch and have a little bit of common sense, you really don't need these features. I am still worried, even on the Mavic Pro, that it doesn't have side sensors or top sensors or rear sensors, and I'm not that reliant on it because I know if I fly backwards too fast or fly up too quickly, I could still hit an obstacle or something, and so it's not really that useful of a feature.
So using these intelligent sensors, the Mavic Pro can do a whole bunch more things that the Phantom can't. It can follow specific objects, so you just set on the screen what object you want it to follow and it can follow that. You can do tap to fly, so you just tap in the distance of where you want it to go and it'll go in that way, and a whole bunch more different intelligent flight modes. Whereas the Phantom 3 Standard doesn't have all these modes. You can do a couple of things like follow points in a map or circle around a specific object, but doesn't have any of these intelligent tracking features that the Mavic Pro has. So the clear size difference between the drones. The Phantom 3 Standard is obviously a lot bigger and can't really pack down any further from where it is now. So if you're traveling around with it or want to take it with you anywhere, you've got to find a large enough bag to be able to carry it and a way to secure it if you're traveling on an aeroplane or in a place where it might be subject to moving around. Whereas the Mavic Pro is really great. Not only is it already pretty small, but it can fold up to even smaller for when you're traveling. If you flip these legs up like that, flip these legs in, and fold all these propellers in like that, you can see it gets into a very small package. And you're able to easily fit that in any kind of bag that you're taking with you and just stuff it in, and you don't really have to worry about anything breaking because everything's nice and well secured. Even the controller, if you take out the whichever device you have in, you can fold in these holding arms like that and fold in the antennas. You can see that gets into a very small package as well. You can see the Phantom 3 Standard over here with the controller really doesn't pack down at all. You can fold this little thing down and fold the antenna, but that's literally it. So even the controller is pretty huge, and you've really got to think about how you're going to transport that. So one thing to note with the Mavic Pro is it is a lot smaller than the Phantom 3 Standard, and that includes it has smaller propellers, so it's more susceptible to strong gusts of wind and things like that. So the other day I was actually flying and I couldn't actually get it to return to me because the wind was so strong. But luckily when you hit return to home, it finds some extra juice and is able to come back to me.
So you've got this far in the video and you're wondering, Sam, which drone should I get? Should I get the $500 to $600 DJI Phantom 3 Standard and miss out on some of those high-end features of the Mavic Pro? Or do I spend another $600 or $700 plus accessories like batteries or the charging station and get the Mavic Pro with those extra features? To be honest, the question lies within you and how much experience you have in terms of flying drones and flying quadcopters. If you spend a little bit of time flying them and you're pretty comfortable with how the controls work, how the video settings work, and how to achieve good footage and good results, definitely go for the Mavic Pro. It's definitely worth all the money, especially if you can get it on sale like I did, and it's really useful. And to be able to go those extra distances, like that extra range with that 7-kilometer OcuSync technology, being able to pack it down and take it with you is so convenient. And I've started using my drone a lot more just because it's so easy to fly around, and I don't really have a lot of those restrictions that I did with the Phantom 3 Standard. However, if you've never used a Phantom 3 or a Phantom product or a DJI product or ever flown a quadcopter before, you're not really sure if it would fit into your kind of video arsenal. If you film other videos or you do GoPro videos or whatever, definitely look at the Phantom 3 Standard. It's so much cheaper. You won't feel, if you ever crash it or do anything or lose it or anything, it's not as much money. And to be honest, it gives you 95% of the feature or 80% of the features that the Mavic Pro does for a fraction of the cost. You can still fly it, you can still get up high, get those nice cinematic drone shots, into places that you'd never traditionally be able to get to with traditional cameras and tripods and things. And it's just really cool to be able to start off and get a lot of those shots that, you'd never, like I just said, you'd never been able to get before. It's really easy to fly. DJI products in general are really easy to fly, and I wouldn't worry too much about the kind of learning curve involved with it. You pick it up pretty quickly, and there's a lot of training videos and tutorials and even apps that you can use to practice on your drone flying. But if you've never flown it before, I wouldn't say go out and get the $1,300 to $1,400 Mavic Pro, because it's probably a lot of features that you won't end up using. And if you decide in a couple of months that you don't really fly your drone that much, or there's not a lot of opportunities or kind of interesting things to film with something that's that expensive, then you would have at least saved that money, and you could put it towards something else like a lens or a microphone, or like an external video screen or something else that might be more worthwhile of your time. So in summary, look, I really like the Mavic Pro. Obviously I've got it myself, and after going from the Phantom 3 Standard, I've upgraded to the Mavic Pro, so I can see there's a lot of value in having that extra range, the small portability, and those intelligent features. But the Phantom 3 Standard I've used for like 2 years, and it's been really great. It was my first drone because it was cheap. The Standard, I could have got the Advanced, the Professional, but I didn't want to save for that long. And I've, loved flying it. It's so easy to fly. I haven't crashed it at all. That's how easy it is to fly. I've never flown a quadcopter in my life. And I've been able to get some really cool shots that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to get. And everyone that I show is like, wow, look at those, look at those shots that you've got that, like regular people who don't do a lot of filming or watch a lot of YouTube videos think, wow, this is awesome. So hopefully that video has given you some insight into which DJI product out of these two you should pick, or at least given you some insight into the upgrade path between the Phantom 3 Standard to the Mavic Pro. If you enjoyed this video and interested in more kind of content on quadcopters or filming or anything, give this video a thumbs up and comment down below with any questions you might have about this particular topic. Otherwise, subscribe to Technologetic and I'll see you in the next video.